The opinions in this podcast are all our own.
But the businesses are real chamber members.
It's a chamber chat.
Coming to you from Wahoo, Nebraska. Chamber Chat with Kate
And Kat.
Welcome to Chamber Chat with Kate
and Kat. I'm Catherine Nygren, owner of Found and Flora Flower Shop.
And I'm Kate DeCoste, owner of Kate DeCoste Photography. This podcast is everything Wahoo Chamber of Commerce.
Well, Kate, we have another guest in the studio.
We sure do.
Yeah, we've got Joe Wynn. He is our street superintendent for the city of Wahoo and the cemetery sexton for the Sunrise Cemetery and Greenwood Cemetery.
Yeah, thanks for having me on, guys.
Yeah.
Appreciate it.
So there's a lot going on in the cemeteries.
There is. We've been really busy over the past couple weeks. We had our March 1st through March 10th cleanup. The biggest thing with that is it's early in the year and Nebraska weather is bipolar.
Yes, it is.
We don't know if it's going to rain, snow, or if it's going to be 85 degrees.
Right.
So this year we got pretty lucky. Last year we were in the middle of a blizzard, but this year we were able to get out there and kind of go through our progressions of we start out by picking up all of the winter decorations that are left on graves that the public doesn't pick up. And then we really go into a deep clean of the cemetery. We go through and we mowed.
Oh, wow.
We blew all of the leaves and stuff away from the headstones. Just a real good early season cleanup. Then we get into kind of the deeper maintenance stuff. We took out 20 tree stumps, grinded out 20 tree stumps.
Oh, wow.
That's a
So
lot.
that kept us busy. Right now, we're still currently working. We haven't really got off of the cleanup, but we're out there. We're hand aerating with a push aerator the entire cemetery.
Oh, geez.
So our goal is to get grass growing in spots that grass hasn't been growing in a long time.
Okay.
So
Wow.
we graded all the roads out there. We just really want to elevate the standard of the cemetery. We understand it's really important to the public, and I believe that your cemetery, your community is defined off of what your cemetery looks like. A lot of heritage, a lot of family names, and my team does a great job of understanding the importance of that to the public. So, yeah.
I love it. And I think just having that, you just saying, how the importance of it, I just think that makes it sound to me like you're taking this very seriously. Your team is taking it very seriously. And I think the public should know that that's what's happening. And
we really appreciate the public support. I mean, that is more important than anything. And just getting them to understand the importance of why we pick up the decorations, why we want them clean, so we can go in and thorough clean, blow memorials off, and really just level areas that need dirt added. Just take it to the next level. Just and they play a major part in that, and we really appreciate it.
well, and I know that, how long has the cemetery committee been?
Gosh, we've been meeting for what? 1 year?
Is it
or
over a year?
It's a year and a half.
Yeah.
And I feel like just when that all started, when you guys were going to do really use those, I know that the cleanup was in the rules and all of that, but when you were like, this is actually going to really happen, and then the committee started, when you go out there, you can tell that it's not just, we're making sure this rule is in place because we just want to, because it's in writing.
Yeah, it's not, when it comes down to it, it's really not about the procedures or the rule, as people call it. It's really, for us, it's the level of expectation that the public wants our cemetery to look like. So with that being said, if we want to have a very maintained, beautiful, pretty cemetery, we have to be able to set standards and go in and clean things up to reach that ceiling. And it's our job from the city side is to make sure that we are doing the things to reach that goal. And I have a great team. I kind of tell them, you got 2 times a year, this is your Super Bowl. You get to go out there and you get to raise that bar. And every year we do this, we're going to try to raise that bar a little bit higher and a little bit higher, and just continue to just make it better. And there's a lot of heart and love and drive that goes into that, and we need public support. I mean, we really need the public to rally around what we're trying to do. And one big thing with that is I would encourage the public to come out, meet the team, talk to the team, stop down to our street yard. If you ever have questions, you feel free. Like, you are the city. You are what makes our heart beat. Like, we need that support, and we want people to understand that.
Well, people probably don't know that there's somebody always there. That's a full-time staffed position.
Yes.
A cemetery position.
Yeah, so full-time staff position, cemetery supervisor. The job is currently open right now. We're looking to hire. It's been open for about 3 months. We've interviewed a couple candidates, but we are looking for the perfect fit. Again, back to that standard. We know what we want. We know what we're looking for. We're not going to settle for something that we don't think is an absolutely perfect fit. And we also have part-time seasonal jobs open out there. We posted those about 2 months ago. You could be a high school student looking for summer work, 16 and over, or between the ages of 16 and had a guy last year that was 90 years old that applied for summer help, and we didn't have a position at the time.
Oh, no.
But anybody that's just that wants to give back to the community and flexible hours and being outside, a very peaceful place. The past week we've been working out there. It's very peaceful. It's different than any other job.
Yeah.
And you leave with a sense of satisfaction that you're doing something really good, because it means so much to so many people in our community.
It really does.
So if anybody's looking for a position, looking for a job, we go to City Hall, fill out an application. Those will get forwarded to me, and we will review them and move on with the process.
Nice. So one of the things people might not know is that there's more than just Sunrise Cemetery. There's the Catholic part of the cemetery that's kind of blended in, to the naked eye and Sunrise.
Yeah, so we don't have any jurisdiction over the Catholic cemetery or their policies. We help them out where needed, but we take care of Sunrise North, and Greenwood Cemetery.
Okay.
Now, I would encourage you to go talk to your leaders on the Catholic side of the cemetery, and it's a perfect time to bring up some of this stuff. I mean, a lot of the decorations that are left in the Catholic cemetery blow into the city side of the cemetery. With Nebraska weather just being the wind and everything that we deal with that, it's hard. I mean, you have to understand, people have an attachment when it comes to their loved ones when they're buried, and we fully understand what that means. We also understand that the public wants the cemetery, again, to be at a high level, and with that being that way, there are things that we have to do that aren't always easy to do. But we have a great committee, cemetery committee that we've been together for a year and a half now. The cemetery committee's always been there, but it was basically cemetery staff and then the city council and the mayor. So after we kind of started looking at the policies and the stuff that needed to be enforced, we had a very big council meeting, if you guys remember that. I think the biggest one to date.
I think so.
And to be honest, those things need to happen. And without the public's involvement in that situation, I don't think where we would be where we're at today. I mean, we invited some members from the general public to come onto the committee. They've been a blessing. They have been a breath of fresh air coming in and being able to understand what we're trying to do, what the public wants, how they want their cemetery to be perceived. And without that support, without that meeting, I truly don't think we would be where we're at today. And then just the future of the Wahoo Cemetery. So a lot of things have been happening. They don't always get communicated to the public. So that's why this is great that you guys are having us here, because it's really important to share that information with the public, because they hold such a valuable role in what we do. So, anytime the public wants to come to a council meeting, we've talked about having cemetery committee meetings maybe out at the cemetery, getting involved, asking questions, understanding the budget, understanding the shortfalls and how hard it is to meet standards without having the money there. And just opening up different avenues for the public to trust. And that's, I think, the biggest thing for us is that everybody looks at the city and they're like, well, the city this, the city that. Who is the city? We work for the city. The public is the city.
Right.
The taxpayers are the ones that have the loudest voice. And it's really important that they stay engaged and that.
Yes. Well, and like you just saying that meeting, look what changed in a positive way, because people showed up at that meeting because they were very passionate about what was happening and not understanding or wanted to understand. And then now you have this committee with with some public people, residents, and it's a positive thing. So I think what you're saying is
And I think the biggest thing with that is like anything else when it comes to conflict, it's better to address it before it becomes a problem. So if you have a concern, you have a question, you want clarification on something, just show up. Just come talk to us. Like, my guys are trained to handle these situations. They learn the rules. We train on how to handle different situations because you never know what's going to happen, like any other job. And if they can't figure the answer out, they will go ask somebody that knows the answer. And just that public engagement will give the public a better understanding of what we actually do and how we do it, and hopefully ease that transition a little bit. But big time, I mean, that's the biggest thing is just the public. You hold a major role in what we do.
I don't think people realize that.
Yeah, it's very important that door is always open, because with that support, we can be the best we can be if we have that support. If we don't have that support, we fail. And so that's where we really want, we want people to come out. We want to see people walking out of the cemeteries. We want to see people knocking on the door, coming out and saying, hey, this looks great, or I have an idea. Can we have a question box out here, or can we, we put the billboards out. We've talked about always having something in those for communication. We want that to be your direct line of communication is that message board when you pull into the cemetery. Now, we don't know what those messages should say, or where we want to go with that. Like, that's part of the committee. That's why the committee's great, because we have people like Kat, Linda Little, people in your community that they play a very important role, and the public can go talk to them and just say, hey, we have a great idea. Let's bounce it off them, because we're open to just making things better.
And now a message from one of our chamber champions.
Okay, Kat, real question. When it comes to your financial goals, what matters more, the plan or the person helping you get there?
Ooh, it's got to be the person. I mean, the plan is great, but if you don't trust who you're working with...
Right? Like, I want someone who actually gets my life.
Exactly. Like bankers who aren't just bankers, they're your neighbors.
The ones who understand what's going on in your world.
And care about where you're headed next.
That's what you get with Union Bank and Trust.
Because there, your money has people. Member FDIC.
All 3 cemeteries. We maintain all of your storm sewer system, all of your roads, all of your right-of-ways, and we maintain the very valuable city tree dump. And we spend a lot of time out at the tree dump. That's another big thing that we ask the public support on, is that dump is regulated through the state.
Okay.
So if anything gets dumped out there besides tree debris, we will get fined and they will shut us down. So it is very important that the public understands, if you see somebody that dumping something that they shouldn't, maybe say something to them. My guys go out there and they clean this stuff up. Somebody threw a whole deck out there last week.
A deck?
A deck. They unloaded all their lumber with a full deck.
Oh, wow.
So one skid loader tire or one dump front loader tire is $2,000. So again, the public wants us to be transparent. Where's their tax money go? Well, if we run over a screw, that's $2,000. All of the time that we have to spend out there picking up anything but tree debris is time that your tax money is being spent on, where it could be spent at the cemetery.
Right.
We could be putting that into the turf and new trees, but instead we can't follow the policies of not dumping trash and stuff like that. When the state comes in, they will shut us down. It's just very important to get that message out to the public that it's not everybody. It just takes one bad apple to ruin it for everybody, and that's what we're trying to prevent.
Well, I'm like, did you think because it's wood that it would go there? You know what I mean? Like, where you have to be like, it has to be trees.
Yeah.
It's not.
So technically, you're not even supposed to dump leaves per the state statute.
Oh, wow.
So we actually take the leaves that people dump and we put them in a separate section, and then we take those leaves and spread them out on the farm field. So when you're cleaning out your garden beds, if there's cups or trash in there, that trash then gets put into the farmer's field.
Gotcha.
So just getting the public to understand like what we do with that and exactly how we handle it.
Right. And what you can put out there. Because I thought leaves could be wood because it's part of a tree. So I was thinking that would be,
And so I don't know the exact reasons on why certain things aren't allowed. Leaves, they compost. And so they don't burn well. And then if they do get hot and burned, they float through the air, which cause fires.
Yes.
It doesn't just stay in one spot. But yeah, I mean, the state is very strict on that.
Well, that's good to know.
So
Yeah, it makes sense.
Yeah. And like, so no grass, no anything.
so no grass clippings and stuff in the pile. We take the grass clippings in the leaf pile, and then we spread those out on the farm field. Okay. So there's signs out there. There's 2 signs. There's a sign that states dump all your tree debris here, and then there's a sign that says leaves and grass go here.
Okay. So you can still bring it out there, just put it in the right pile. I just remember being out there when we had that big storm, and I was like, this is so like great that we have. I mean, we are so lucky that we had it because people were just lined up, going back multiple times with. I mean, I know we did. My dad had a tree that went down, and we cut it up and. It was multiple. It wasn't just one trip that we were out there.
Yeah, it's definitely one of our most used resources that we have in the city. It's a great resource because it keeps the town clean. It keeps trees maintained in town, and it is a really big deal. We're actually working on, because it is very important to the public and they want to protect it, we're working on putting up a camera system and a new entry gate. So we haven't decided which route we're going to take, but we've actually got some trail cams up out there that very low cost, but they've, over the years of people illegal dumping, they've paid for themselves.
That's good.
But again, that's what we need to do to protect that resource, and it's a great resource to have, and the public loves it, and as long as we can keep it maintained, hopefully it stays there for years and years to come.
Before we got on camera, we were talking about other big projects, with the streets. You've got a few street projects kind of in the works for summer.
Yeah, so street projects wise, one thing my department is really trying to be better at is we want to be proactive rather than reactive. So we are going to be out this summer. Biggest thing we're going to be doing is we want to fix the roads permanently where we can. So a lot of our roads are overlaid asphalt, and what happens is when it gets to the curb and gutter, that's kind of where your mailboxes are at. That area is really thin. So if you're driving down a road, the driving surface looks good, but the curb and gutter is eroded. And that's because of where the water runs. So the water gets underneath the asphalt and it chips it up. Our goal is to start cutting that back and putting hot asphalt in, which lasts a lot longer than the cold patch that we use on our potholes.
Okay.
And we're going to be out doing more of that this summer. That's kind of our summer focus goal this summer, is going to be do as much asphalt work as we possibly can. Our streets are in pretty tough shape, but we got to start chipping away at it. And that's kind of our goal, is we're going to go into sections and we're going to replace asphalt, crack seal it, and then keep moving on to the next section. So yeah,
That'll be a good project.
Yeah.
just stay busy.
Yeah. It's a lot going on between keeping the cemetery mode, all the summer months and
Yeah, I think the
streets
biggest
fixed.
thing that throws a wrench in for us is just the natural Mother Nature disasters that come in when the creek floods or wind damage, the spring winter storms. Those really put us behind. Anytime the flood comes through, the trash, the cleanup,
Sure.
we can do without those. Like, those are bad news.
Mother Nature, if you're listening.
But yeah, other than that, I got a great team. Again, if they're out and you see them on your street and they're out there filling potholes, they're doing something, go talk to them. I think that's the biggest thing, and I just really want to hit on that is public engagement is so important in city government. Understand what your teams are doing, what your other departments are doing. Ask questions. Come down, look at the new equipment, look at the old equipment, look at the shortfalls. Get engaged. Understand that you are a taxpayer. That is your investment. And it's just really important to understand the processes and how we do things. And that way, when you're out and you see them doing, you know exactly what they're doing. Hey, that's what those guys are doing. They finally made it to my street. They could be out trimming right-of-way trees. They could be out fixing asphalt. They could be doing concrete work. They could be street sweeping. There's always a plan, and that's one thing that the leadership of my team, we always have a plan. We know where our guys are at all times. We know what they're doing. We know how they're doing it because we discuss it. The public should know the same. I mean, we're always open to share that information. It's just really important. So
When you say, so everybody knows, when you say come on down, look at the equipment, where do they go?
So if you're looking for the cemetery, there's a little white shop out there at the cemetery. Cemetery supervisor is usually out there. He might be out moving around. Like right now, we don't have one, but there will be somebody out there 90% of the time in the summer. Stop out. If he's not in the little white shop, just look for him around mowing or weeding or cleaning up or doing something. And then our street yard is, I'm going to try to put this where people can understand, right to the south of Runza.
Okay.
We're the West Service Center.
Like that four-way stop.
So right behind the car wash. We're just west of the car wash, just south of Runza. But I'd encourage anybody. You want to come down, you want to chat, you want to look at, our resources, how we fix the roads, what we put down for materials. There's so many things we could talk about. And my team loves that. They love the engagement with the public. It just shows signs of support. And I think at times in city government, you feel like you don't always have that support. And it's not it's not the case. It's just what you read on, your social media and stuff. So we encourage people, the positive people, to be positive leaders in your community and come down and have a conversation and chat and build relationships. I mean, that's the biggest thing. When you know your team from a public standpoint, especially in a small community like Wahoo,
Right.
you should know everybody that's out there working. And I have a fairly new team. My goal was to try to bring some youth in.
Okay.
One big thing when I was meeting with the street superintendents for the state is that the youth they're not coming into these jobs anymore. And it's really, really important that we somehow open that door back up because we have to be able to train them on how to do these manual labor, physical jobs. If we don't, our infrastructure is going to fail.
Right.
And so we hired a kid from Wahoo Public last year, 18 years old. He was 17 when he started.
Oh, wow.
He's been wonderful. Great. Shows up every day on time. He's a great kid, great worker. I have he's a young man, I should say. We have another one that's an employee that's 25 years old. And then I have a big gap, and then I have some older employees. And the best part about that is those older employees have a lot of skills that they haven't had the opportunity to pass those down to that next generation. That's very valuable to what we do. And that's one thing that we work on every day is, again, how to do the job, and then all of the leadership building stuff on how to talk to the public, how to handle situations, how to be good leaders, how to lead a crew, understanding the communication to the public, just the importance of everything that we do. It's really multidimensional. So
It's a lot of puzzle pieces.
yeah.
Yes.
Cemetery, Celebrate Life Co.
Yeah.
We can talk a little bit
yes.
about that.
Yes.
So one big thing that we pulled out of our cemetery committee is that we are going to take all of our burial books that are homed at City Hall, and we are going to digitalize them. So we hooked up with a company called Celebrate Life Co. So basically what they're going to do is they're going to go in with GIS and they're going to put points on all of our burial plots, all of our open and plots that are filled. And they're going to map that out. So there'll be like an interactive map going forward for the cemetery. So it'll make it user friendly to be able to go out there and find graves, look at graves that are for sale. We'll be able to, what's really cool about this setup is that we will be able to make it interactive resource wise to the public. So we can connect with local businesses. You want to order flowers, you'll be able to go right on there and it'll be simplified, but you'll be able to go say, oh, I just want to put flowers on mom's grave today. It's her birthday. And you can be able to go on there, click on it, make a payment. That will go over to the local flower shop. And then a part of that will come back to the city, which will go to the cemetery. Headstone cleaning. We're going to try to open up resources just for the betterment of the cemetery as a whole. Headstone cleaning, foundation extensions, like the old legacy bases. The bases are crumbling and falling apart. So we came together and kind of put together a plan we can go in and put extensions on the side of foundations so you can put your planter on it to extend the life expectancy of that planter. Those are $75 a piece. We can do those now. We've probably done 10 or 12 of them since we opened that up. But again, that's information that the public, if they're not engaged, if they're not going to the council meetings, they don't know that stuff's an option to them. And that's the biggest thing what we want. There's going to be a lot of stuff that's going to pop up that will help the public and my department, the cemetery as a whole, because we're working together to try to raise that level of love out of the cemetery. So
Well, what I love too about the digital and doing all of that, so if you have, loved ones that are buried here, but you live out of state or something like that, then it's an easy way to just be like, oh, I want to put flowers on mom's grave for her birthday, or do the extension, or all of that, just to know in one kind of.
So another thing out there that we're really looking at is our trees are getting old. The cemetery, it has to be upkept. So we're going to look at trees. I think we're going to try to go through and map out 15 or 20 spots where we want to put trees and have a donation on there where somebody could buy a tree in memory of a loved one and we can plant more trees. The city of Kearney does a really cool thing. So they have a foundation that raises money strictly for, you kind of hit on this earlier, older headstones that might not have family left, that they go in. I think they have on average like $40,000 in this foundation pot, as you call it. And they basically go in and every year they will take that money, some of it, and they will replace foundations on headstones that might not have loved ones around anymore. Because those headstones aren't going anywhere.
Right.
So if you go to some of our older cemeteries around the area in Saunders County, you'll notice that the headstones have fallen over and they're just laying on the ground. Nobody's maintaining those because there might not be any loved ones left.
Sure.
And so Kearney, when they go in, they just pick and choose, and then pick them up, clean them, put a new foundation underneath, and set them, and they're there for another 100 years. And so certain things like that, I think this committee it will just bring to the community is, it's a good thing because it reflects on our shortfalls. You drive in, and the first thing you see is this alligator road. It's old, it's outdated, it needs replaced. But with that comes a high dollar price tag. I mean, that's what the committee is going to work on. We're going to put these numbers together. We're going to bounce it off each other. And then that's where we either look at our budget and say, hey, we can make this work, or we need some help. We need to reach out to the public. We might have to raise some funds to be able to pay for this. Do we want sprinklers? Do we want trees? I think that is the beauty of having a committee is that, believe it or not, some people are against trees. Some people are against sprinklers. Some people are against spraying of weeds. This is the reality of, if you come out and talk to the cemetery staff, they're going to tell you, yeah, this person over here, they like the weeds. They don't want you to spray the weeds. They don't want the chemical sprayed on the grass. So again, it goes both ways, but that's the educating to the public saying, hey, listen, this is what we're doing. we are listening to you. There's no right or wrong, but go talk to your committee, go talk to your leaders, go talk to the city council, go talk to the mayor, engage with them, and just before it becomes a frustration and you're upset, have that conversation so we can discuss it, because everything that comes against our table in the committee gets discussed. And we try to look at every avenue, every angle. We just want to be better. And that's the biggest thing.
Well, I love it. And I love when will the digital thing be happening?
It's in the early stages. So right now, basically what's going to happen is we're going to review all of the books, because a lot of that information is really old. We're going to make sure that all the books are in line, because the digital is only going to be as good as the books are. So we want to kind of go through, and we're going to go through section by section and look for any gaps. Look for any areas that might not make sense, and just get everything, make sure that it is exactly how we think it should be before we enter it. So I'm going to say 6 months to a year, maybe.
Sure. I mean, that's a lot. That's a lot of.
And then I think
It's a lot of data.
Yeah.
a lot of data.
Yeah.
And then I think it'll progress into really big things for the city of Wahoo. It'll support our local businesses. It'll give the taxpayers options and to make things better for their loved ones, like headstone cleaning. There's all kinds of stuff that we could do with it. We've talked about bases, so I think we've talked about possibly how do we bring, like, the legacy bases have always been a big thing in Wahoo, and that's got brought up multiple times. Was, well, we don't make them anymore. So when we used to make them, the city would pour the foundations and they would mix their own concrete. Well, we don't mix our own concrete anymore. It's just not financially worth doing. So we buy our concrete from Wahoo Concrete, and we don't really have a lot of extra because we can order, and those things take like 3 days. You pour it, you set the mold, then you have to take them apart, then you have to put them back together. Then, you know, it's just a process. And when you actually break down the time that goes into making one of those from a taxpayer standpoint and what you're paying an employee, and then you turn around and sell them for $50, that's what they were selling them for, you're losing money. And so we're looking at third-party options on how we want to proceed with those, because, again, the public has stated those are important. They bring back a lot of memories from the Wahoo greenhouse.
Wahoo greenhouse, yep.
And
They have the grapes on them.
yeah. What's really funny with that too is, like, sometimes I'm scrolling on Facebook and I'm like, look, there's 4 of them for sale, and there's some others. So they make them everywhere. And I think that's the stuff that we're going to do. We're going to look at vendors. We're going to see, you know, I mean, can somebody make them? Can somebody make them at a cost where, and if the public wants them, or we want to go a different route, that's where the committee comes in. And without all of that stuff that happened a year and a half ago, we wouldn't be where we're at today with that committee. And I think that's what makes it wonderful, is the public engagement is what makes this stuff go. I think we just have to stay communicating, and just you can have to just continue to try to get better. No matter what, there's the ceiling's as high as you want to take it, and that's the beautiful thing about, that's what attracted me to Wahoo when I took this job, was just that we do have a really nice community. There's a lot of striving businesses and a lot of people that are engaged, and it's only going to go as high as we take it. And so, like I said, from our standpoint, get engaged, come out, come talk to us. If you have questions, we have answers. If we don't have an answer, we'll find it out. And we appreciate everything that the public does, and it's your cemetery, so your roads. Let's take care of them and make them better. Yeah.
And now you know who's behind it.
Yeah.
If you did it
thank you,
before, you
guys.
know now.
I appreciate you having me in.
Yeah, thanks for coming.
Awesome. Thank you.
Well, thanks everybody for listening or watching, and don't forget
To keep it local, friends.
This has been a Chamber Chat with Kate and Kat. See you next time.